Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to not Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Well, it turns out that we were having some technical difficulties. It died. We were having some technical difficulties. Then, like, we kind of said, you know what? We're getting flagged out the butt for it anyway because of all the licensed music in it. So let's just play something else. So it was my turn to pick. So I was like, Zach, play the beginner's guide. It's only 90 minutes. You can do it all in one sitting.
So that's what we're going to do.
And it's a good game.
One sitting.
It's a nice little indie game.
Make sure the audio is on.
Do you know anything about this? Okay, it's from the same guy that made the Stanley Parable.
Okay.
So it's a walking sim.
Gross. I'm just kidding.
Oh no, I know how.
Hi there.
It's like there's
Thank you very much for
this
playing
isn't
the
God of
beginner's
War.
guide. My name is Davey Reedon.
You might want to turn on subtitles. There we go.
I wrote the Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd
We might need like a second.
Do I need to like confirm it? Nope. All right, it just says on. All right, cool.
No, you just let it speak, and then like the next line will have subtitles.
I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counterstrike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment.
I guess, subtitles aren't on at the moment.
That even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe
Should I be doing anything right now, or just be walking around?
And if the people like
you you're just walking,
also happen
walking
to
and listening.
Interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Okay.
As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
November.
Sidebar. I'm talking to Ryan about Love and Thunder, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a lot of bad CGI." I'm like, Ryan, I said to him, "You wouldn't actually know what bad CGI just hit you in the face."
What? Yeah. That's bad CGI. Okay, does not mean a movie's bad. But also, all MCU CGI is bad because they rush the post-production process.
And also, Transformers. He loves those fucking films. Sorry.
No, that is bad CGI for sure. Anyway, that's your gun. So you just gotta go down that hall. So yeah, this is a fun little indie game that I really like. That Well, hopefully you like to. It's okay if you don't like it, but I felt like it really changed my perspective how video games can tell stories. You can just keep going. Like it's pretty obvious where you need to go. So just keep going where it looks like you need to go.
It looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
I'm glad we got subtitles back. Yeah.
I love how
Look
you
at
can
space.
see the bottom of the universe from this room.
That was cool.
Oh, good old
That was
indie
clever.
games.
I feel like I want to get like just.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth.
Oh God.
Can you
Sure,
solve
I
the
don't know.
maze?
Oh
There's really no reason
fuck.
for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past.
Oh. Sweet.
How nice of him. Nope.
Oh.
Nope. You're going the wrong way. There you go.
Oh.
I've actually
This is
solved
the
that
part
maze
that's
before.
The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it?
Oh my God.
You give yourself?
Would you be willing to do it, Zach? Risk your life
I think that was pretty.
for the lives of many?
I feel like I had to.
What you just experienced,
Really
stepping
no
into the
options
beam
there.
and dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
So you
And I'll
guys step
do it
into the beam again.
Whoa.
Space.
A
The
frontier.
final frontier.
The beam causes you to start
I'm
floating.
clipping, guys.
And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is
No
technically
clipping out of
a glitch,
reality.
But
What is
Coda
this, the back
identifies
rooms?
something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating
the
could
bottom
be
of the universe.
afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs.
That maze is solvable.
Yeah, I
He
see it.
stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Oh.
What an
Okay.
experience. November 2008.
We're about to get real existential, aren't we?
Yep. This game you can only walk
Oh
backwards.
God.
You can do it, Zach. I believe in you.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced
Why
than the
does the
previous game, but
future
actually it seems to be more focused,
keep
more
changing?
complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clear. I wouldn't say it becomes existential, just more just experimental game
Gotcha.
design. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short
Oh,
little
Jesus.
thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next
All
one.
right.
Game after game.
Slender Man.
He gonna spook ya.
I'm now entering. Oh.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Am I missing like some kind of like style, like
I wish I'd known
stylistic
at the time
design that this
making
creator
these
always
early
does? Because I
games.
didn't play the
He would
Stanley
really only
Parable.
talk to me about his work as he was making it.
No.
Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Oh God.
No, you don't have to play the Stanley Parable to understand this game. This works as a
Once
standalone.
you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Nice.
Stanley Parable is more like an experimental, fun game that puts Telltale to shame.
Nice. You walk around. Oh, okay.
Normal game where you have to scream into a mic every 15 seconds to keep playing.
Oh,
Play a
A room that's warm and nice and filled with
game where you
little
collect
ideas for
items. A
games.
button where you press stop. A button you press to stop the chaos. A game only motivational quotes.
press U to surrender.
Press U to surrender.
That he didn't mind if people thought
It's not
he was
working.
cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
This is what it looks like when my brain is on like overload. Oh,
Right when it wakes up in the morning,
Okay.
but you don't have enough brain power to kind of like
more like when I'm stressed out at
process
work.
physical movement.
Like I'm brain blasting, thinking like 6 moves ahead. I can hear colors.
I can hear colors. I can see sound.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Have fun. You can do it, Zach. I believe in you.
Well, damn.
Look back at the door you came from.
Oh,
On your. Aha! You
Nice.
figured it out.
Solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
it's a metaphor. Okay.
Yep. No, you can keep going.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
Right.
like life.
Now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Oh,
Whoa.
trippy dog. Oh, I can't fall off.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Is your computer
Either way,
lagging from
I
this?
think
No.
The point is the same. Is that most of
Okay,
the time
maybe
you
it's
don't
the
really
stream.
know what you're missing, or even
I'm also
you're
jumping
missing
around like an
anything.
idiot.
That's not your role as a
Yeah,
player.
no, I got you.
So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
It's to comprehend. Oh, we're back here.
To respect.
To respect game design.
You are now
I
exiting.
saw that.
Aha. So this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
March 2009. The Great and Lovely Descent.
Oh, wow, it's bright. Future.
It's just like
future.
just imagining like you're at your desk, like the curtains are all like closed and everything. Suddenly
Let's
it's
talk about POV
bright.
development
Like, oh my
God, my
god!
eyes.
Video game runs on what's called an
Start
engine,
disintegrating like a
which determines
vampire.
Yeah.
what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Nice toilet.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear
I like
corridors.
this.
That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large,
Jump.
flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
There's no fall damage, so if you want to just take a
The tools
dive,
available
go
to the
for it.
creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear
Oh, you
boxy
got it.
Made it.
corridors.
I guess I get done there, right?
Yep.
Hey.
Oh, look at that.
Here we go. Ready?
It's all that time playing Portal. Which I still gotta play Portal on the Switch.
Oh yeah.
There's no additional content, so it's like I'm not in a rush to do
Oh,
it.
it's a glass
but
wall. Nice.
yeah, I still want to play it on the Switch.
I like the architecture of this one.
Where are the cows?
Oh.
Surprise! It's an elevator. You're being lifted and going to prison.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before
Jesus.
letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
And that's why the game is 90 minutes, because
This
you
is something
sit there
that
for a
Q&A
full
used to
hour.
talk about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Oh, hey, I've seen this before.
Here's that door again.
With the
That
exact
puzzle.
same solution as the last time.
You can do it. I believe in you. All right.
There's
Yeah.
still no clear indication of what makes
Big
this
brain
puzzle
mode.
so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very
Oh,
shortly.
I just bumped the fuck my microphone.
Oh no. How could you?
I know, right? I was scratching my chest. Listen.
You there? Did you come up from
Here,
above?
Coda begins
What was up
using a
there?
kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Yes, there were these floating colored blocks. That's the world above. You've been there. Now, this is important. Did you have to get through the puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing I did before coming here. Again, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. Oh no, but I do. We do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It is the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you, there's nothing I want more. Oh, Zach, you're gonna deny them freedom?
Yep.
How dare you? This is their door on your left that opened up.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, right there. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I've been right here this entire time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It is not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. What happens if I solve it? Not sure, but if I have any suspicion, what you'd find won't be worth what it takes to get there. Going down the stairs.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
In this narrow hallway.
Bonk, 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 bonk.
I wonder how, like, difficult it is to make a game in the Source engine.
Probably pretty hard.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to.
You spin me right around, baby, right around like a record, baby.
A record, baby, right around, right around.
Post is, it's a destination.
And now we're gonna get flagged for that because we were just on point, so perfect.
Yep.
A lot more fully developed, with more of a
Singing in the rain.
And as we go,
I'm singing in the rain.
Clearer and clearer.
Oh, nice little fade to black.
We love a good fade to black. April 2009. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. What a great title. All notes you see are left by other players. Nice room. Not.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but
How do you beat this game? No point to this.
All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend
Can you guys
game
hear
jam
me?
in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so
Hello.
different from anything that anyone else was doing. So
Reasonable.
right away I was like, I have to be friends
Everyone
with
read
person.
this.
In
This place
retrospect,
makes me
I think I was
sad.
probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention.
I want to tell you a secret. Once upon a time I
was
did.
over-enthusiastic. But he was
I'm
very
king of the
gracious about
world!
it and very patient with me. And
We're
I
running out of
pulled off
space.
eventually.
Soon we will suffocate.
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all
Just
of them.
saw a flying plane. Let me tell you, it was the
Either
most
way,
majestic thing I've ever seen.
to
I
me,
like
they
living.
convey a sense of loneliness.
Feel like living because nothing will ever be
I
as
see this
majestic.
person
Oh my
who's filled
god!
with thoughts and feelings and beliefs,
All right.
and
I
has
must
no
go-
way to express
yeah.
them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
What the shit is this cavern? Can assure you that.
But it's ironic,
Assure you
isn't it,
guarantee there's an
that
acorn
in
somewhere
playing
here in this
game
place, and sailors are
seeing
looking for
how
it.
alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him.
I refuse to
I have to
believe.
be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could
Need
just
to go to the freaking bathroom.
play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less
Don't
of
listen to
the
that guy.
messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always
Open
liked Code's
sesame.
games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally
It's a Jackson Pollock
into
painting.
his world.
Hmm.
And then I feel less lonely too.
Are you a connoisseur of paintings?
Me? No. This is a note.
So, I mean, like, when it comes to like interior design, are you like kind of more like a posters guy? Do you and Jordan have like artwork or something
We have
up, or is it just
artwork
kind
hanging. We got a lot of like posters and artwork hanging up.
of? No.
I like canvases.
Okay. What is it like any specific artwork, or is it just kind of like whatever was at Hobby Lobby or something?
So we have some like she made me like a little Lego figure shadow box that's chilling right here in front of me. There's a painting of R2D2, her Elton John poster. She has all of her records hanging up on the back wall over by our couch,
Nice.
or most like 4 records, and we have some like artwork from a store.
Yeah, there was I was at Walmart the other day and I saw like in the clearance section there was like some like canvases, just square canvases of like pre-painted. I was like, wait, that's a thing?
Yeah.
You just get like pre-painted canvases and act like you're a connoisseur of art.
Right, yeah.
Here, I'll tell you what
That's
I think the
wild.
puzzle means. Each of these games represents
I need to go through my posters and frame them so I can put them up.
I prefer the look of canvases, like when they're bound around the canvas, but that costs so much money to get that done.
Mm-hmm.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution.
Look at all these dweebs that can't solve this simple puzzle.
Simple mechanism for moving on.
The second door won't open.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
How do you leave notes?
Oh, the monkeys at the typewriters, writing Shakespeare. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak. Oh my god. I'm speaking. May to June 2009.
Okay, this
porn stars die too.
It's gonna kind of just spin
You
its own
spin me
wheels
right.
Ooh.
We can release this as one part or like 2 parts.
I was gonna do like 3 parts, but I was gonna like I was gonna choose in the edit when to cut it off, so we don't have to do outros or intros.
Okay, cool. That's good to me.
See,
Oh shit.
This is it, the whole game, and there's nothing that's particularly interesting.
Oh
about
no!
It. You just walk to the end of a
Trapped
hallway.
in a well.
Except,
oh well,
Lassie. Here,
boy,
Lassie.
And I don't know why, but
what is it, Lassie? Little Timmy fell down the well.
He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay.
It's like,
cool.
no,
Here's version
little
2.
Timmy's not in the well. I just want a treat. What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? A refrigerator. How about TV surround sound? Oh, never mind. That's not what you get. Okay, how about along the wall of the room? 10 stoves lined up along the wall. Really like a washing machine. Nope, you got couches. Nice couches, though. I think we should light up this room a bit. The 10 by 12 recessed electric 6-inch skylight, full ceiling window. Nope, you get a lamp. And a table, you need a table. Who are you? Where exactly is this from? Tables were invented in 1935. So what, everyone just ate on the floor before then?
Yes.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
It's another maze.
So,
Can you get through?
He throws
Nope.
it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environments. Follow the instructions carefully. Take what you can. First, click on this table. Good. Now go over to the photo frame and turn to it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp off or whatever. Now go to the left side sofa.
Oh, move it a little.
Move it over a little. Finally, touch the shelves. Touch them. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to start, be taken back to your prison.
Oh, God. I'm not going to remember that.
I don't think you have to. Not that don't worry, I'll remember for you if we have to.
Pull the footage
Pretty sure
quick.
you don't have.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
How crazy.
Here's a phone booth. Time to go on an excellent adventure.
Oh, I was thinking Superman.
Oh, true. Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you after you escaped the prison. You're me.
You're me?
You're me.
So you were trapped in this prison too?
Oh no.
It's a conversation. And so
yep, I was in the furniture maze. That's where I am right now. Oh, I'm so glad to know that I get out eventually. What's it like to escape?
But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
It's not as bad right now as you think it is. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? You're creating a paradox. You're changing the timeline. So supportive.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
It's like that TikTok. It's like, oh, the person you are now is who you would have been comfortable with as a kid.
To make a game about
oh God, yeah.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Nice loud door. Clean. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house by myself, and right miserable that would be. Everyone knows lonesome hands can make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is
lousy homes make home loners. Something tells me you're going to be fun to do this job with. Well, this place is going to clean itself. As far as I know, I'll finish up here. In the meantime, could you please clear the table? Much nicer. That's a table I want to see. Now, would you please rinse the bedroom and make the bed? So nice. While you're there, why don't you straighten out the rug a bit? All the little details matter. How'd you end up doing this job? A friend dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I've never felt so good doing something for money in my whole life. Never did like cleaning my own home. Might have got some demons I ain't ready to face yet. Oh, someone's put the couch in a mess. Straighten out the pillows.
Tricked by the couch. Oh.
Make it especially cheesy. Like my mac and cheese. Scrub it. Nice.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful. I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Look at me picking the correct answers.
Mm-hmm. You would do so well in a Telltale game.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
There's just something about this song though. I'm like, this is really chill and calming. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good song.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Big rip.
Big rip indeed.
Mm-hmm. Can't get too comfortable.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
Nope.
September 2009.
This one
Items you love at members-only prices. Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. This workshop's going to teach you how to be perfect. Want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person's a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that in your own life? Who do you know who's so well developed as a person that they can make you feel disgusted with yourself? Compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game,
Being perfect is effortless. Whoa. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort?
As the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just
Still love you. It's just that you made me feel cold on the
and also
inside.
you can move around the classroom now.
If you are torturing yourself right in the mind to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. Seek out only one thing, because the easiest, simplest path forward. There's
cool
no
looking
truth.
vortex.
There's no path. What's up?
I said it's a cool looking vortex or
Oh
black
yeah.
hole.
Oh yeah. Do what is easiest. Do what is simplest. Feel what is true. Nothing. No one.
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most
Perfection.
relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this
So
game a lot
abstract.
these days.
So abstract with meaning.
January 2010.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Look, man, it's after the holidays. He had spent time with his family.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the performance is beginning. Places, please. In this scene, you will be playing as me. We are at a gathering of professionals. First, you start out leaning against this wall. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Where is the bathroom? Hello. Hello, that's it. That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again.
Okay, Mom.
I like you.
Okay.
No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There are a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. Stop teabagging her. You must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize what this was for me? I'll never get another opportunity like this. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Might need to go further back.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
You just keep hanging out here, or?
Just keep on swimming. Okay, yes. Now this is working. This is what I like.
Premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to
It's
fears
perfect.
of having
Wonderful.
to
Really, this
perform
is
and
wonderful.
having to chase success. The answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where
Doing
it just
great.
becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can
That
you do?
sound
Got
design,
me.
though.
After this, Coda
It was
went
really
off
good.
and took another 5 months to make a new game.